Handline is a restaurant here in Sebastopol, California. We serve coastal California cuisine featuring fresh, sustainable, locally caught seafood with a kind of California twist to it. So we do fish tacos, a burger and fries. We serve soft serve. We're housed in an old Foster's freeze. So we refurbished the building when we bought it and have kind of incorporated the thread of what Foster's freeze is to the history of California cuisine into our offerings here. So a lot of what we do here at the restaurant is seasonal. So it's really important with any dish when we cook it, kind of look to the seasons to tell us what's going to be most flavorful and vibrant to eat in any given moment. I'm gonna make risotto today. I'm really excited to make risotto every spring because during springtime we get this flush of really tender, delicate ingredients. And today I'll be putting English peas, sugar snap peas, asparagus into the risotto and a bunch of fresh herbs. So I'm gonna start by prepping the ingredients that are gonna go into the risotto, and we do that separately to make sure that everything's cooked perfectly. Since they don't all have the same cooking times, we can't cook them all together with the rice. I'm gonna chop some leek and saute them in a little olive oil with leek and then some fresh thyme, and we'll let those cool. So this time of year, we've got hedgehogs and then yellow feet. So one of the things that I'll be using in the risotto today are hedgehog mushrooms, which are wild foraged. And we also get really excited about those things that come on throughout the course of the year, mushrooms being one of the kind of most exciting things because they offer such nuance and depth of flavor and layer to any dish. So, they're locally found on the Sonoma Coast. And we get such a wide variety of mushrooms, basically from the first or second fall rains all the way through late spring. And they're gonna lend a depth and savory quality to what otherwise will be a really light, bright, kind of springy dish. Gently remove all the sand and grit and kind of naturally occurring forest characteristics that mushrooms will bring with them. I think that a springtime version of the dish offers an opportunity to really showcase the kind of subtlety of spring's first ingredients. So you want a medium to high heat to start with in the pan so that you can kind of get a nice little brown and caramelization on the outside before they start releasing their moisture. So now that we're through that initial sear, I'm gonna lower the temperature just a little bit, also because I've added the leeks and I don't want to brown the leeks a ton. I wanna be a little gentler with that ingredient. Adding salt to each layer of the dish is gonna be incredibly important. That's my approach to seasoning things always, is to season at each level so that at the end you've got a distinct way of experiencing each ingredient. A lot of folks are timid around salt because maybe it has a bad rap. I would say that I liberally season things, and in most restaurants I think you'll find that we do. But one of the things that's really important to me is to use high quality salt because it can actually really help contribute to providing your body with important minerals that we don't get elsewhere, which is why we need salt to begin with. Not to mention it helps bring out the flavor of the foods. I'm gonna just kind of gently peel off the leaves of the thyme directly into the pan. Doing that while the pan is hot and still cooking will help release all the oils from the herbs, which we want. after that, what I'll do is blanch the asparagus and the peas in salted water, and then we'll shock them in an ice bath to stop the cooking process as soon as they're completely cooked. So I've got boiling water that's liberally salted. The way to test for having enough seasoning in your blanching water is that it tastes like the ocean, which is pretty salty. And we're looking for that stage just before they start to sort of shrivel or explode. So I'm dropping them directly into an ice bath to stop the cooking process altogether. For the sugar snaps, I'm gonna peel off the little vein, and then I'll probably cut them on a bias so that they're bite-sized. I'll always cut something kind of along the natural shape of it so that I'm maintaining the integrity of the thing itself so that you can still experience that. And that's what offers us diversity as we eat, because we'll get a bite of spring pea that's, you know, shaped like a spring pea, and then a bite of asparagus that's like a little bit longer. You know, it'll provide different textures. The other ingredient will be the asparagus, and again, I'm gonna cut it on a bias and then blanch it until it's just still a little crunchy, but cooked through. So the technique is basically to toast the rice to kind of bring out its flavors. And we just do that in a little olive oil as we sweat some onion. And then we're gonna add white wine to it and let the alcohol evaporate out of the white wine and let the rice absorb that. And then we're gonna start slowly adding stock while constantly stirring the rice to kind of encourage it to release its starches. And we're gonna do that until we have a texture that is, as we like to say in cooking, toothsome, or you can kind of feel the bite, but it's not at all raw. And we want to retain just enough moisture to have it kind of expand out a little bit on the plate. And in Italian, they refer to that as alla onda, which means like a wave. To cook rice for risotto, you always want to use a really wide bottom, shallow pan if possible. It ensures a more steady, even cooking time with all the rice. So you want your onion to be translucent and soft before you add the rice. I'm gonna add it and I'm gonna stir it a little so the rice toasts for a couple minutes, like 4 minutes or so. So after the rice toasts for a couple minutes and you really get that aromatic rice quality, I'm gonna add a little white wine. And the white wine is I'm gonna let all the alcohol evaporate from it, and then I'm gonna start slowly adding stock. Okay, so I've been stirring the risotto for about 45 minutes, constantly, basically, never really leaving the pot. Stirring that way is really important for the development of starch in the risotto to make it creamy, and it's also an opportunity to impart whatever story you're in or whatever's going on for you in your life into the dish to make it nice and tasty. So now I'm going to start incorporating the ingredients we par cooked. The first of which are the mushrooms and asparagus that's been blanched off, and then peas and snap peas, and then plenty of butter, preferably grass-fed, but this is what's going to really up-level the dish, and a bunch of grated Estero Gold from Valley Ford. I'm using a local, really creamy, nutty cheese. It should help balance the kind of light spring flavors of the dish. So I'm just gonna stir it till it's incorporated and the butter is completely melted. So folding those in off the heat so you're not cooking them, but obviously the dish is warm, so that's gonna help them kind of release their flavors. Then last but not least, I chopped up some parsley and chives. The chives being in the allium family will add a little tiny hint of really sweet, gentle piquant. And the parsley is kind of an understated Italian herb that they use throughout their cooking that I've always had an affinity for. I like to brighten my risotto with a little pop of lemon zest. Just adds a little added layer and acid to keep balancing the dish. This is a local Meyer lemon. One of the things that we do here at the restaurant is we glean a lot of extra fruit from folks who have one too many Meyer lemon trees in their yard. So if that's you, come on down to the restaurant. We're happy to do trade. All right, so now I'll plate it up. And then I'll add just a tiny bit more cheese because you can never have too much of it. So this is our springtime risotto with asparagus, sugar snap peas, English peas, and wild foraged mushrooms, most of which can be found in your garden at home. And we're here at Handline, excited to usher in the new season.